A few years ago, I made the most radical decision of my life. I canceled all my morning alarms, not because I was lazy, not because I didn't have work to do, but because after 7 years of financial discipline, I never needed to wake up to an alarm clock ever again. What you're about to hear isn't not a get rich quick story. This is the exact roadmap of our middle class kid with no connections turned every paycheck into a wealth building machine. By the end of this video, you will know how to transform spending habits at the cellular level, the 4-step investment strategy outperforming the SP 500, why most frugal living advice is that wrong, and the business loophole generating 427,000 in 11 months. Now let's rewind to the end of 2017 and the start of 2018. I was 19 years old and I have just landed a job at a startup in the real estate niche. I earn around 3,000 a month. While 3,000 certainly isn't a huge amount, neither then nor now, the real secret was in the lifestyle I was living. At that time, I wasn't burdened with big expenses. I lived with my stepmom, so I didn't have to pay rent. My only recurring costs were a basic phone bill, the occasional Uber ride to and from the office, and maybe treating myself to lunch one day a week. There was simply no extra money wasted on shopping sprees, dining out daily, or chasing a lifestyle of material possessions. Because my expenses were so lean, I was able to adopt one core goal. I wanted to build wealth through investing. I wasn't saving to merely accumulate cash. I was saving so that I could invest in opportunities that would multiply that money over time. I knew that letting money sit as idle only meant I wouldn't lose value through inflation. Even if you have a high-yield saving account, it hardly keeps up with inflation, let alone taxes. So every dollar was meant to be working for me. Here's what I did. Every time I got paid, almost like clockwork, every other Friday, I would immediately log into my account, confirm that my salary had arrived, and then transfer 50% of that paycheck directly into investments. Back then, I was focused on low-cost Vanguard index funds because I trusted that by harnessing the power of compounding returns, even modest contribution could grow exponentially over time. I know it sounds extreme to invest half of your income, and I totally understand if you're not in a position to recuperate that percentage. Many of you might have larger bills or family responsibilities that don't allow that level of saving, but the key lesson here is invest what you can, as early as you can. Even a small percentage, if done consistently over the years, can have a huge impact. Every Friday, as soon as my money clears, I manually type into the amount to transfer over to my investing account. I know many platforms now have auto-invest features, but for beginners, the act of manually entering that number helped me reinforce the discipline and reality that this is my money working for me. Even if I was still half asleep sometimes, seeing that check leave my bank account helped me trust the process, and it fired me up for the rest of the day. I always remind myself, I have two choices. Either buy something flashy that offers momentary satisfaction, or invest in an asset that builds my future. And I choose the latter every time. Now, let's talk about why discipline was so essential. By investing half of my income, I wasn't just stashing cash away, I was giving my money a chance to multiply. Think about it. Money that sits in the standard checking or savings account is gradually diminished by inflation. But when you get your money into the market, it's working every day on your behalf. I like to pause here and delve a bit into the concept of compound interest. Imagine planting a seed that not only grows into a tree, but also produces more seeds. We then grow into trees. Over time, your forest of money expands exponentially, not linearly. By starting at 19, I allowed decades for compounding to work its magic. Every month that I invest, I added fuel to a fire that over time became unstoppable. I won't sugarcoat it. Investing requiring discipline and a long-term mindset. There were days when the market would dip and it might have felt discouraging. But because I was committed to a process and because my money was invested for the long haul, I trusted that over time it would only grow. I wasn't reacting to every market fluctuation. I was letting patience and compounding do all the heavy lifting. I also want to mention something important. Some of you might feel that investing 50% of income isn't realistic, and you might be right in your situation. It's different from mine. But here's what matters. Start small and invest what you can. Even if you begin with 10% or 20%, the core idea is to never let your money sit idle. Get it working in a market where the returns can help you beat inflation and build real wealth. Over time, as my income grew, thanks to a few raises and improvements in my skill set, I gradually saw the fruits of that disciplined habit. I wasn't just piling cash into account. I was systematically building my financial independence. Fast forward a few years, through consistency, the magic of the market, and a few raises here and there, my disciplined approach began to pay off. By this point, I had managed to accumulate around 50,000 in the liquid account, a sum that I could access at any time for a promising investment opportunity. Then something happened that completely validated my approach. No longer after reaching that 50,000 milestones, literally a month, maybe just a couple of weeks later, a pre-construction town home complex started selling in my neighborhood. This wasn't just any property, it was in my prime location, about 10 minutes from my house, near major highways and several top-tier schools. With my background in real estate and habits I developed, I had a strong gut feeling about this project. I analyzed the location, compared nearby values, and it all added up. I was convinced that this was a golden opportunity. All my saved cash was now on the table, and I decided to take the plunge. I vividly remember walking to the sales center. I had a mix of excitement and a little bit of nervous energy as I handed over the checks, signed the paperwork, and officially became a stakeholder in a project that was still in its building phase. For many, this might have seemed risky, but for me it was a combination of years of saving, strategizing, and waiting patiently for the right opportunity. And the decision paid off handsomely. Approximately 2 years later, when the project closed, I sold my share for a profit of about 120,000. The incredible part? I didn't have to rent it out or manage tenants. I simply brought it in at the right moment and then reaped the benefits of the property appreciation. This experience taught me a vital lesson. If you're in financial control and have cash reserves sitting there because of disciplined saving, you'll be ready to seize once-in-a-lifetime opportunities when they arise. Think about that for a moment. if I had blown away that money on fleeting consumer goods or trendy gadgets, anything just to look cool, I wouldn't have had the leverage to make that investment. Instead, by sticking to my plan, I transformed a modest sum into a significant profit that propelled my financial journey even further. Now, while my early investments gave me a solid start, the true engine behind my network wasn't just those index funds or that pre-construction deal. The majority of my wealth that really built my network to nearly 950,000 was come from the cash flow generated by a service-based business I own. Around March 2022, I began challenging my passion and skills into building a business that could provide consistent income. The results were astonishing. This business soon started earning me between 20 and 25,000 a month in profit. And here's where the magic happened. My personal expenses were capped at around 4,000 a month. By keeping my own spending incredibly low while scaling my income, I was able to accommodate a massive nest egg even after taxes. It's one thing to save money from a modest salary, but when you combine that with the steady cash flow of a thriving business, the momentum toward financial independence accelerates dramatically. I sometimes look back and think I should have invested even more of my profits back into the market. That's one of my regrets, and I plan to talk about my regrets in the future video. But the takeaway here is clear. A combination of smart investment and a robust business that generates recurring income can set you in the path to true financial freedom. It wasn't that I completely denied myself all luxuries. I did enjoy nice dinners, quality vacations, and even upgrade my lifestyle a bit over time. But I did so without compromising my long-term goals. Every dollar I spent was measured against my bigger plan. More money today means fewer worries tomorrow, until one day, well, I can live purely off the returns from my investments and business profits. Now that I walk you through the numbers and investments, there's one core concept I want you all to take away above all else: freedom. When I talk about freedom, I'm not referring to flashy cars, yachts, or the latest technical gadgets. Instead, true freedom is about claiming your time and being in control of your time. For me, freedom means waking up without sound of alarm clock. It means not having a string of meetings or deadlines controlling my day. It means having the flexibility to time my workouts, like going to the gym at 1 in the afternoon or simply staying in bed a little longer on some mornings. I haven't set alarm in years because I no longer feel forced into a rigid schedule. This perspective on freedom, freeing yourself from the man and from a life of endless paycheck to paycheck stress, has been reinforced by other great voices in our community. And again, I remember a video called Thank You, where there was gratitude for financial freedom, share of being financially independent, allowing to grow a launch. That message resonated with me deeply. It helped me see that even if I'm a car enthusiast or someone who appreciates material quality, nothing compares to the liberation of knowing that my money is working for me, rather than the other way around. I'd gladly trade any number of Lamborghinis if it means I get to wake up every day as the master of my own time. Let me sum up the key lessons from my journey. Number 1, invest early and often. Get your money out on the saving accounts into investments. Start whatever percentage you can manage, even if it's 10% or 20%, but do it consistently. The earlier you start, the more your money benefits from compound returns. Second, embrace frugality in your early 20s. In your 20s are the time you build wealth. By living below your means, you free up more money to invest in your future. That might mean sacrificing certain luxuries in the short term, but the long-term rewards are worth it. Discipline is everything. Create habits that reinforce financial discipline. For me, that meant transferring money to my investment account every payday without fail. It might seem like a small act, but it ingrains a mindset where every dollar is purposely allocated for growth. Seize opportunities when they arise. Number 4. Remember the precursor townhome opportunity I mentioned. That win was only possible because I had a reserve of cash waiting for the right moment. When you're disciplined and consistent, you're always ready to pounce on opportunities that come your way. Number 5. Multiple income streams matter. While investments play a key role in my journey, building a business that brings in steady cash flow has been the primary driver of my wealth. Diversifying your income sources not only protects you from economic fluctuations, but also accelerates your journey to financial independence. These aren't just financial strategies, they're lifestyle choices. They're about prioritizing long-term security over short-term gratification and consistently making decisions that bring you closer to the freedom you desire. So, where does that leave you? I hope my story, how I went from a modest 3K monthly salary with almost no expenses to nearly $1 million net worth before turning 29, inspires you to assess your own financial habits. Ask yourself, how much of income I am truly comfortable investing? What changes can I make today to reduce unnecessary spending? And what opportunities will become available if I start growing my money rather than letting it idle? Even if you can invest 50% of every paycheck, begin by investing something. Use any moment of extra cash to build your future. Financial freedom isn't about overnight success. It's about consistent effort, smart decisions, and the commitment to living liberally. I want you to remember that freedom isn't defined by lavish possessions, it's defined by ability to dictate your own schedule to pursue what you love without financial constraints, and make up every day knowing that your future is secure. For me, that freedom is priceless, and I firmly believe it can be yours too. Thank you so much for sticking with me to this deep dive into financial journey. I hope you gleaned insights that resonate with you. I'm committed to continue this conversation and producing more content about financial habits, disciplined investing, and building additional income streams. Now, I love to hear from you. What step will you take first toward your financial independence? Do you already have a plan in mind, or are you looking for guidance on how to get started? Whatever the situation, share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with anyone you think might benefit from this message. Remember, your journey to financial freedom starts with one smart decision at a time. Until next time, keep saving, keep investing, and above all, share us the freedom you're working so hard to create. Thank you for watching.